Hi, I'm Stephanie Falls-Warr. Thank you for joining us for Empowering Entrepreneurs. I'm owner of Falls Consulting, and I'm going to answer 3 questions about state sales taxes. These are the 3 common questions that I get from my clients. So I'm going to answer 3 things you need to know about state sales taxes. One of the most common questions that I get from my clients is who must pay sales taxes? 2, how is the amount determined? And 3, how and where do I report state sales taxes? The answer to who must pay state sales taxes, the answer to that is it depends. It depends on what the business is selling. Either it's a service or tangible goods, or you could be selling both. Just to make sure we're all on the same page, I'm going to define the two. If you're selling services, that's considered an activity or performance of a task. Whereas if you sell goods or tangible goods, those are physical products defined by their ability to be touched. Who must pay sales taxes? Let's go back to that question. In general, services are not subject to state sales taxes. Tangible goods are subject to state sales taxes. Basically, the question is, are you subject to state sales taxes? It depends on what you're selling. So if you're selling a service, your services are not subject to state sales taxes. Again, this is a general statement. However, if you're selling tangible goods, those tangible goods are subject to state sales taxes. You could sell both. Us, for example, we're in a service industry. We provide consulting type services. We provide bookkeeping, accounting services. However, I also wrote a book. So that book is considered a tangible product that is subject to state sales taxes. So now the next question, how is the amount determined? The amount of sales tax varies from state to state. And by us being in the state of Illinois, I'm going to talk more about the state of Illinois. But this is general. For example, the state of Illinois have approved third-party software vendors for sales and use taxes. Most states have the approved third-party software vendors for sales and use tax. And most of these vendors are pretty much the same regardless of what state you're in, that you could probably use these vendors to help you calculate the amount of sales and use taxes. So just to kind of go down this list of approved third-party software vendors that help you with the sales and use tax, help you calculate the sales and use tax. It will be CCH is one, and that's kind of like a well-known company. eFileSalesTax.com. Intuit is very well known. Instant Software Solution, PTP, One Click LLC, and TaxJar is a real. I like TaxJar because they give you a lot of information on their website. Thomas Reuter is also one that's pretty well known, but you can read the list here. So these, the thing that I like about using a third party vendor is they can kind of calculate those sales tax for you. So in the case of these vendors, we are Team Intuit because we use a lot of Intuit's products. We use QuickBooks and suggest that our businesses use QuickBooks to provide for their accounting needs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Intuit link to show you what they do in reference to sales and use tax. So the neat thing I like about their website is even before you buy, and I apologize because I tried to frame this out real well and I kind of got some of it out. It's not in the frame. But if you scroll down here to the bottom, this is the sales tax calculation made easy. Even if you hadn't purchased this yet, you could click on this. You could click here on sales tax calculator, kind of put in an address, and then you can say get the estimate. So if you want to know what the sales tax rates are in Calumet City, Illinois, it tells you if you're selling products from Calumet City, Illinois, they estimate your sales tax at 10%. So Illinois imposes I would say a standard fee of 6.25%. The Cook County, this particular address is located in Cook County. They charge an additional 1.75%, and Calumet City charges 1% for sales taxes. And there's a RTA district percentage of 1%, which brings this total to 10%. So you could come put any address and put a different state in here. I don't know if I said Indiana. Let's try to see it. I don't know if the address is in Indiana. So I think it kind of go mostly by, I don't know a zip code offhand in Indiana.
but because it's still plotting for Illinois. So it depends on where you live. So you want to put that in here. This, like I said, this is Intuit QuickBooks, and you can go to our site if you want to purchase this. We are affiliate of QuickBooks, so you can go to our site and purchase the program if you like, or purchase this through our site.
Now, where and how do you report your state sales taxes? Again, you would go to the Department of Revenue, regardless of what state you're in, you would go to the Department of Revenue, their website, to report your state sales taxes. When it comes to actually reporting them, each state has their own process. Again, since we're in Illinois, I'm going to go over the state of Illinois' process. So you start a company and you decide you want to sell goods, or you already have a company and you decide that you want to sell goods opposed to just services, or you're selling services and you also want to sell some goods. You want to first register your business with the state. Then you want to begin to collect the sales tax at the tax rate based on where your business is located. We discussed that, and we discussed how you would calculate that. Again, you would want to get one of those third-party vendors, and they will kind of help you calculate the taxes. You collect those taxes. So if you're not, though, based in Illinois, if you're an online sales, if you sell most of your products online and you don't live here in Illinois, or your company is not based here in Illinois, but you make sales to people in Illinois from outside of the state, you may be subject to the use tax rate of 6.25%. And that's what it is as of today, whatever the day of this recording is 6.25%. Now, the use tax is very similar to the state sales tax, but it's collected by sellers based out of state. So again, if you're out of state, you're more than likely subject to the use tax rate, which is 6.25%, which is also Illinois' base tax rate. Which is what I referred to as the base tax rate. You are not required, if you're selling things online and you're based outside of the state, you're not required to charge any local sales tax on that, just to the FYI. And you can, again, go to taxjar.com, also gives you a lot of good information about that extra tax. Not really an extra tax, the use taxes. It kind of breaks the different taxes down. That's what I like about TaxJar. So the reports that you're going to complete to submit to the state, again, will be found on your Department of Revenue's website. And if you're not sure what that is, like I said, you can go send us an email and we can kind of walk you through and find your department's website, your state department's website. In reference to Illinois, you would go to the IDOR, which is the Illinois Department of Revenue, and their website, you would complete Form ST1, which is the sales and use tax form, or the E911, which is a surcharge return, or the ST2, which is a multi-site form. Now, I'm not going to talk about the E911 surcharge return on this particular webinar. We can talk about that on another one if you want to send us an email and we can talk more about that. Today, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the ST1 sales and use tax and the ST2 multiple site tax. So the ST1 sales and use tax form, that form pretty much, if you're selling anything, alcohol, if you're selling purses, t-shirts, whatever, clothing, you want to be filling out that ST1 form. And that's usually is based on where you are, where your products are being kept. So if you live in, say, I don't know, if you're an entrepreneur and you're doing business at your house and your house is located in Calumet City, Illinois, your sales tax rates will be based on that. Now, the multi-site form, the ST2 form, is kind of common as well, because nowadays especially with entrepreneurs, we have a lot of pop-up shops. So if you're based, say, in Calumet City, Illinois, and you do business, and say if you engaged in a pop-up shop, you did a 7-day pop-up shop somewhere in Chicago, well, then you would want to fill the multi-site form, because it may be a different tax rate. More than likely it's about the same, but it could be different. Let's say you decide to go to Naperville for a pop-up shop. That could be different. I participate in the Black Women's Expo a lot, which happens every year in April. I'm not sure if it's going to happen this year, but it happens every year in April. So when we participate in that, if we sell any products, we would have to fill out the ST2 multi-site form. And they tend to have those forms available for you when you go to the Black Women's Expo. I'm going to do another webinar that actually goes into how to complete the sales and use tax form. I'm going to walk you through how to complete that ST1 and the ST2. If someone's interested in the E911 surcharge return, let me know. I can do a video on that one as well. Now, the thing about the Illinois Department of Revenue, the great thing about them is they allow for these reports to be completed electronically. And they allow for you to pay your bill electronically as well. So to submit that payment, when you collect those sales taxes, you submit that information and that money to the State Department of Revenue. They allow you to do that electronically, and that is really some good news. This concludes this particular webinar. Thank you for joining me on this. Please subscribe to this channel and visit our website at www.fallsaccounting.com. Note, the information in this video is subject to change. So to ensure you have the most accurate information, please check your State Department of Revenue's website. Thank you again.